Hi! Today's lesson is lesson 1.x, as I'm calling it, because it comes from a different book, but it's super important for understanding the math that we need to do with this chapter. It's more place value. This time, though, we're including decimal places. So we're going to start by making a big rectangle at the top of our page. And we're not going to cut it exactly in half. I want you to have a little bit more room on the left, a little bit less room on the right. So I'm going to do mine right about here. And on the right hand side, we need to cut it into three equal pieces. So 1, 2, 3. And over on the other side, we need to cut it into 4 equal pieces. So there we go. And right in the middle, where we made our original line, mine's black, so that I could remember it, we're gonna put a decimal point here, make it nice and big so that you can see it easily. And all numbers that don't involve a decimal, they actually have a hidden decimal point that's hanging out right behind that ones place. So right here is our ones. And we're going to go through and over the hill here. So over the hill, over. So if this is the ones, of course, here's the tens and the hundreds. And of course, over here, we're at over again. That's right, it's the 1000s. So I'm just going to call this thousands. I sort of had to snake my writing around. You can do what you need to do there. And thank you to those of you pointing out that we need our comma here. We absolutely need that comma there. All right, so this is, of course, the ones period here. This is the beginning of the thousands period over here. And then, of course, after further that away, we would find the millions period like we practiced yesterday. I don't want our place value chart to get too big, and I really want to focus on this side. All of the place value names that come after this decimal point end in THS. So I want you to notice this pattern here. So we have the ones place. There is nothing that sounds like the oneths on the other side. That doesn't exist. Right, the first one here after the decimal is the tenths place. So TEN, and it ends in THS. I like to pronounce that as tenthsa. Kind of spit as you say it. It makes it easier to remember. So notice we have the ones place. We go to either side of it. There's the tens over here and the tenthsa over here. Now from the ones, we count 1, 2 over, and we've got the hundreds. Well, from the ones, we're going to count 1, 2 over. This one's going to be the hundredth of the sa. So I'm going to spell the word hundred. And then put our THS at the end. So hundredth of the sa is right here. Notice how we count out from the ones, and the place values begin the same. These just ends in an S. These end in thethasa. So let's make a prediction. What's this one going to be? Well, count from our ones. 1, 2, 3 out. This is the thousands. Are you thinking the thousandth thethasa? Very good. So thousandth thethasa. So again, everything that is over behind the decimal point ends in thethasas. Tenthethasas are bigger than hundredthethasas, which are bigger than thousandthethasas. More on that another day. But for today, we're going to start by going from standard form to word form. So here we go. Just like yesterday, I want you to watch as I do question number 1 and then copy down the work for question number 2. So here's question number 1, and I see 64.71. So this decimal point here, I'm going to circle it right away because that decimal point is super, super, super important. We read this as 64 and 71/100ths. Because remember, I've got 10ths and 100ths. So you're always going to put that smallest place value name after the decimal. So just like remember yesterday, we covered up in front of and between those commas, we can do the same thing with the decimal point. So I cover up what's behind the decimal point. It just says 64. So I'm going to write 64. So this is 64. And, because that decimal point means and, so I have to write the word and right here. Now I cover up everything in front of the decimal point and I see 71, 71, and again that 1, it's the farthest place value over to the right. I check my chart, it's in the 100ths place, so I put the word 100ths at the end here. It's not complete unless you have a ths at the end of your word form when you're writing word form of something that involves a decimal. So 100ths. There you go. Let's do number 2, and this one you're going to copy down in your journal. So number 2, it says 3.892. So that first thing we need to do, once again, very good. We're going to circle that decimal point because we got to make sure we include that word. Cover up everything behind it. All we have is 3. So we're just going to write the word 3. And that's right. We circled that decimal to remind us to write the word and. We cover up everything in front of that and all we see is 892. So we're going to write 892. So I've got 892. Are we done? No, very good. We're not done. We need to end in a ths because our number involves a decimal. So I see 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal. 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal. The word is going to be thousandths. So 1,000, THS. And let's check it. 3 and 892 thousandths. So it looks pretty good here.